gas prices were just hiked to the economy is just a real B right now. And of course, by B, I mean a bear. Like, what else would I mean?
Hello, I'm Shayla, a midlife homemaker, a wife of over 20 years, a homeschool mom of 6, and a woman of faith who has been building and mastering homemaking and homesteading skills for over 33 years. We are a family of 8 living on our dream mountain homestead, still finishing our home, so things are a little raw and rough and real here, but real is exactly what you will always get from me. I create courses and content to help overwhelmed women of faith build Christ-centered homes through biblical wisdom, frugal, elegant living, and time-tested systems that bless their families for generations. Welcome to Mountain Mama's Home, and I'm so glad you are here.
Well, welcome to Mountain Mama's home and my kitchen. Today is my dinner night. So every night of the week, one of the members of our larger family make dinner, with the exception of a couple of the younger kids. But tonight's my dinner night, and I had to go to town this morning. I found chicken tenderloins, $1.97 a pound. So I snagged those up. Thought I would invite you into my kitchen with me today while I make dinner for my larger family of 8, and we would have a kitchen chat. Over the last 2 months, I've had a uptick in subscribers. I've had, I don't know how many thousand subscribers that just subscribed. I think it's about 5,000 subscribers that subscribed within the last 2 months, and everybody subscribed for low income, elegant homemaking content. So I have been working through a series on that, and I thought that today in this video, we should probably talk about all the talk that there is going on about a possible recession. So I've been trying to keep up and do all my research on that. From what I can deduce, there was like a 50-50 chance of there being a full-on recession. Last I checked, that has reduced. We are not as in danger of a recession anymore. We're going to talk about that today. Recently, somebody was mad at me because I did a video that was not talking about low income. They said that gas prices were just hiked to $4 and something cents a gallon where they live. And they were mad at me because one of my previous videos that I just did was not about the economy and not about low income living and tips. It was actually, the video was, but they didn't see it that way. So, okay, where I live, I don't remember when our gas prices were below $4 a gallon. We've had upper $4 and $5 a gallon gas for so long now that I honestly, I don't remember when it was lower than that. So like, she's complaining about something that I live daily. So I know, preaching to the choir, I know. It's, well, for lack of better terms, the economy is just a real B right now. And of course, by B, I mean a bear. Like, what else would I mean? Anyways, we're gonna switch to a voiceover because I'm getting ready to make a ton of noise. So I'm gonna cook this dinner up at the end. But actually just watch closely as I cook and you will see a low income, delicious dinner I'm making. I'm making chicken diablo, but I'm not gonna like go through all of the details of how it's made. Not here anyway. Maybe I'll put that recipe on Patreon. But we're gonna talk about what you all are wanting to talk about.
If your YouTube feed or your news feeds look anything like mine right now, you have been absolutely bombarded with recession content. Flashing red graphics, scary music, headlines like economic collapse is here, and the prepare now or suffer, with a lot of the channels similar to mine. And the views on those videos, they're through the roof. Here's the thing. Fear sells. And you know that I'm not going to do that to you today. You know me. I grew up in Y2K era and conspiracy theory culture. If I had $1 for everything that was going to happen but didn't, I would be a very, very wealthy woman. But what I am going to do today is give you some actual numbers, a clearer picture of where the economy actually does stand right now, and some very specific practical things you as a homemaker or possibly a homemaking mom and maybe even a homeschooling mom can do in your home that will actually serve you whether we have a recession or not, because that's what we homemakers do, especially those of us living on a low income and those living on a single income. We prepare, not in a panic, but with wisdom. First, let's take about 10 seconds to just talk about what a recession even is. Simply put, it's when the economy shrinks for 2 quarters in a row, meaning the country is producing and spending less. So jobs get shakier, prices get unpredictable, and families like you and me, we feel it at the grocery store and the gas pump. And you are feeling it, and I'm feeling it, and everybody's feeling it. Yay! Not really. All right, so this video is going out in June, and as I'm filming it, it's the end of May, and here's what's actually happening right now. Inflation is sitting at about 3.8% over the last 12 weeks. The Federal Reserve's target is 2%. So yes, prices are still elevated above where they want them. That's real, and we're all feeling it. So let me just talk to you like a real person for a minute. You've noticed that your grocery bill is higher than it was a few years ago. You're not imagining it, and you're not bad at math. Prices are still running about twice as high as where the government wants them to be, apparently. You have probably noticed that most people still have jobs. That is also real. Unemployment is actually at a historically normal level right now. And the economy as a whole, it's slowed way down at the end of last year, but it did not go backwards. So think of it as like a car that slowed to almost a crawl, but didn't quite stop. So here's the honest picture. Things are genuinely hard for families right now. Legit. Especially single income families, especially low income families, and especially so for poverty-stricken families. There's a difference between poverty and low income, by the way. But the data does not show us driving off a cliff quite yet. What it shows is a bumpy road that requires some careful driving in the weeks and months ahead. So what the question is not, should I panic? The question is my household ready for a bit of a bumpy road?
I want to take a quick minute to thank the sponsor that made today's video possible. And honestly, the sponsor who has made the last couple months a whole lot easier for me, and that's Wild Grain. So I have officially been diagnosed with celiac for about 2 months now, and I am just going to be really honest with you. It has been an adjustment. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. And a big reason for that is Wild Grain. So if you're new to Wild Grain, they are a bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas and more. And they have really, really good gluten-free options. Everything bakes straight from frozen in 25 minutes or less. No thawing, which is such a gift when you are feeding a family as big as mine. Now, I'm not exaggerating. They're gluten-free cheese tortellini. It is one of my very top favorite things from them. I would eat it every night of the week if I could. It is that good. And their gluten-free sourdough breads, truly, they don't feel like a compromise. Because let's be honest, gluten-free bread is usually not that great. But this, it is different. It actually makes me not miss regular bread as much. And I'm a bread person. I love bread. I do miss it, but as long as I have Wild Grain, it's okay. I also really appreciate that everything is made with simple, wholesome ingredients and a slow fermentation process. Over 20 hours. There are no preservatives, no shortcuts.
Friend, they also offer variety, gluten-free, vegan, and new protein boxes, so you can customize your box each time.
And with every box, they donate meals to a food security nonprofit, which I just love. If you want to check out Wild Grain, be sure to click on my link in the description, as well as the pinned comment. And don't forget to use my code to get 30% off your first box, plus you'll get free croissants for life.
I want to address something directly because I think it matters. There's an entire corner of YouTube right now that is absolutely making money, making bank off of your anxiety. I'm not going to name the channels, but you know what I'm talking about. The thumbnails with a shocked face and the red arrow pointing down, the urgent warning in all caps, the everything is about to collapse energy. And here's what I want you to understand. Fear drives those clicks, and clicks drive income. Some of these creators maybe aren't lying to you exactly, but they are absolutely selecting the most alarming data points, stripping them of all context, and wrapping them in dramatic packaging because it works. I'm not saying ignore the economy. I am saying be a discerning consumer of information. Ask yourself, is the person giving me tools, or are they just making me feel helpless and benefiting from me sitting here feeling helpless and watching them? Because helpless people keep clicking for more content. Equipped people, they go take care of business and they take care of their families. So that's what we're here for today and why we're talking about this. So let's talk about this. We're going to be brutally honest for a moment. For a lot of low-income families, prepare for a recession sounds impossible because you're living paycheck to paycheck and there's no extra money sitting around. But the thing is, the goal is not perfection. It's reducing the number of emergencies that can wipe you out. Here are some of the biggest things that actually can help ordinary paycheck to paycheck households. Number one, build a panic buffer, even if it's really small. So a recession emergency or just a pure emergency fund period might realistically start at just maybe $25 or $50. One extra grocery trip, one tank of gas, a paid utility bill ahead. So a buffer like this, even if it's small, can matter more than people think because it can prevent overdraft fees, payday loans, credit card spirals, shut-off fees. Even just $5 to $20 a week can create breathing room over time. So a good mindset is, what small problem can I stop from becoming a disaster later? Number two is to stock the boring essentials before prices jump again. Low-income families often get hit the hardest by inflation because we buy necessities constantly at current prices. But whenever possible, it's so smart to slowly stock things like rice, beans, pasta, oats, flour, sugar, cooking oil, toilet paper, soap, detergent, medications, pet food, and feminine products. If you don't make your own, that is a thing. Done that before. Now, don't think of this as prepper hoarding, just creating a modest cushion. Buying a few extras during normal weeks can protect you later when prices spike, work hours get cut, a car repair wipes out grocery money. Who's been there? Number three is to lower the required monthly expenses before you're forced to. And this is a big one. So look at all your bills, look things over, get an idea of where things are at, and ask what bills would crush us if income dropped 20%. So here are some common targets people sometimes overlook: multiple streaming services, high phone plans, expensive car payments. Just, a little freebie here. We have always done old cars. Older cars that we can buy straight out and not have a monthly payment. Now, of course, you might have to save up for a while. So recently I saved up. It took me months and I was able to buy a little old car that is better on gas mileage than what we were driving. Buy now, pay later payments, eating out regularly, financed furniture, electronics. The lower your fixed monthly obligations, the more resilient you can become. Next thing is to learn practical skills that save money repeatedly. Some of the best ones for low-income households are reducing spending, learning to repair things, creating side income, increasing self-sufficiency. So some examples could possibly be cooking from scratch, basic sewing and mending, bread baking, hair cutting, gardening, pressure canning and freezing, basic car maintenance, couponing strategically, learning how to thrift well, and perhaps bartering for services with a friend. So maybe you're good at cutting hair, and maybe your friend is good at cooking from scratch. Maybe she can make you a casserole and you can cut her kid's hair. Number 5 is to protect your transportation at all costs. So our gas prices as of today, when I am filming this video, are over $5 a gallon where we live. But think about this. For many Americans, losing transportation means losing income. Cheap preventative maintenance is a recession prep. So make sure the oil is changed on your car. Check the tires, replace filters, avoiding neglect repairs. If possible, try to keep your tires inflated properly and avoid letting gas get critically low constantly. And you might even try keeping a small emergency car fund. And again, don't forget, a reliable older car is usually financially smarter than a newer, expensive payment each month. Number 6 is to keep food simple and repetitive. So during uncertain times, reducing spending means reducing decision spending. A lot of families save so much money by a cheap breakfast that's on rotation, a handful of dependable dinners. I talk about this all the time, Taco Tuesday, for example. Also by buying bulk ingredients and learning how to preserve them so that they will last. You can freeze rice, you can freeze flour, you can freeze nuts. Things that you find at a discount, consider freezing it or learning how to preserve it. Budget foods include soups, casseroles, beans, rice meals, homemade bread, and especially if you learn how to make it, you can save a lot of money per month. Oatmeal, eggs, and potatoes, those are all some great budget foods that you can keep on rotation. Another tip is actually what I'm doing in this very video that you're watching. Instead of menu planning and buying things that are usually cheap and low income, first, make that list. Go ahead, have it. But be flexible. When you go to the store, keep an eye out for deals. If you find some smashing good deals, change your list and build your menu around what you found. I learned this from my aunt.
I'm trying to do the math on what I paid for this meal that I'm making, and it's not one meal. This is going to make several meals, and I'm trying to remember what I paid for. So the 2 packages of chicken, so I got 3 packages of chicken. They were about $7 a piece, $6 to $7 for a whole big pack of chicken. I got 3 packs of the tenderloins, and then I also got a habanero tomato sauce, but I've got chilies, so I'm gonna make some more of my own. Of course, these were like less than $2 for all of this. I'm gonna use more sauce though. The onions, we grew them, so they're from our last year's garden. They're the last of last year's garden. The garlic, I bought peeled garlic because I'm really spread thin right now. It's springtime. We got the gardens to put in, lots going on. So I got a pre-peeled package of garlic. It was $3. The mushrooms, the 16-ounce little tub was under $4. It was 3 something. I can't remember exactly, and I lost the receipt. What else? Salt. And then this dish is going to be all sauteed together and just slow simmered. I'm going to put some cream in towards the end, sour cream towards the end, and then it's going to be served with rice and beans. I'm using 2 of the tenderloin packages of chicken, and I'm using the third one. I cooked it completely, and it's going to go into some chicken salad for our beach weekend, because we have our first beach weekend coming up. Our beach weekends are a really big deal. We work so hard so much of the year, and our beach weekends are where we just let it all melt off.
Okay, so here's a fun challenge I have for you. Can you recommend a place to get budget building supplies? This summer, we really wanted to get the rest of the siding on the gable ends of our home. We've been here about 3 or 4 years now, and we still haven't gotten this done because of how crazy the economy has been. Out of my entire life, I think I've only lived in a finished home maybe 5 or 6 years. So, I've kind of gotten used to it, and it does not bother me that bad. I'm still so thankful. I mean, look at my kitchen. This is where I spend most of my time. We worked really hard and scrimped, saved at times, and we're able to make this nice kitchen space where the heavy lifting on our homestead is mostly done. So I'm not complaining at all, but it would be nice to make some progress at some point on the rest of the place here. So if anybody can recommend a good place to get budget building supplies, that would be amazing. One of the challenges that we have always faced is when there is a little bit of extra income or a little extra breathing room, life will immediately try to absorb it. So for example, if you get a tax return, or if overtime picks up, or maybe you get a bonus, or your spouse gets a bonus, or perhaps you finally sell something, or maybe for 1 month, things are just not completely falling apart financially. And because you've been under pressure for so long, it feels natural to finally loosen up a little. I get that. I totally understand that very deeply. When you've spent months stressing about groceries, bills, repairs, and stretching every dollar, it is so tempting to start upgrading and spending a little more when life finally throws some extra money at you. And sometimes people genuinely deserve something nice after surviving a hard season. But this is where a lot of families accidentally can stay trapped financially. So what often happens is spending quietly rises to meet the new income, monthly obligations increase, convenience spending creeps in more than it should perhaps. Subscriptions start adding up, eating out becomes more frequent, and payments replace ownership. And before long, you're back to where you started and you're feeling broke again despite technically making more. So the problem is not necessarily the occasional treat or blessing. The danger is getting stuck there and increasing your required monthly survival number. Because when a recession hits, or when overtime disappears, or hours get cut, or layoffs happen, prices rise, suddenly those little upgrades, they become a master. So instead of asking, well, what can we finally afford? Sometimes it's smarter to ask, well, what could we put away? What could we stash away for a nice little buffer? Sometimes the most life-changing thing you can do with that extra money is save it or put it towards something you're going to need for sure, like paying utilities ahead, filling the freezer, stocking the pantry, catching up on repairs, replacing something worn before it's completely fallen apart, paying off a small debt, buying quality basics that you won't have to replace anytime soon. And lastly, again, just putting it away for even a tiny emergency fund. I know it's not flashy, it's not fun, but it is what it is, and it can create some peace. I know that a stocked pantry might not feel exciting in the moment, but during hard times, it becomes a lot more appealing. And a repaired vehicle becomes a security. A lower electricity bill for a time set in future is really nice. And of course, paid off debt becomes breathing room. Number 8 is to reduce dependence on fragile systems where you can. So what do I mean by that? Well, I think one of the biggest lessons many families learned over the last several years is just how fragile modern systems really are. People assume that stores will always stay stocked, prices will stay manageable, electricity will always work, and jobs will stay stable. Convenience will always be readily available. But I think we're all realizing how quickly all of that can shift. And this doesn't mean being fearful or extreme. It just simply means building a life with a little more resilience built into it when we can. For low-income families especially, dependence on convenience is often incredibly expensive. Whether we have a recession or not, some things that may be going up soon again could be food staples, especially everyday basics. So some things to watch especially would be meat, beef, chicken, pork, eggs and dairy, cooking oil, coffee and tea, flour, wheat products, rice and grains, canned goods, packaged snacks especially. These tend to keep creeping up because they depend heavily on, well, think about it, fuel, fertilizer, and global commodities. But some other things that may be increasing include some household cleaning and paper products. So now is a great time to maybe learn how to make some of your own cleaning products. Maybe this is when we need to return to things like baking soda, vinegar cleaners, washing soda, and looking up how to make some of our own cleaners again. I like to make my cleaner with vinegar and pine needles or lemon peels that have been used. So when I squeeze a lemon, I save those, all of the lemon peels, and I make a vinegar cleaner with it, and it smells wonderful. Utilities might be another area where things could end up rising. So small energy increases kind of ripple into everything else, and some of the most sensitive things are electricity, natural gas, heating oil, and yay, propane. These tend to rise when fuel costs rise. Of course, transportation costs are another one. I mean, obviously, fuel increases, and so transportation will as well. So this might be a really good year to focus on maybe not a vacation very far away, or we haven't actually had a vacation in quite some time. We don't have them very often at all, but it might be a good time to focus on more things you can do around the house and home and having fun at home. Maybe having more neighbor parties and things like that. Housing related costs may go up, and medical and health related things might also go up, like prescriptions, packaging and small household replacements like light bulbs, batteries, basic tools, all of these things. may be going up. Services will go up, probably quietly, but slowly and surely. So the practical takeaway for a household would be that lock in the basics early, the pantry and essentials. Reduce monthly fixed bills. Keep that buffer for emergencies. Rely less or maybe not at all on convenience spending, and repair and maintain what you already own. And of course, subscribe to channels like mine here, where the main focus is elegant, frugal homemaking. So I am saving the best tip for last. If I can leave you with anything, it is this. We can talk about food prices, bills, stockpiling, all of it, but none of that really replaces what actually steadies a home. For me, the most important thing in uncertain times is prayer. Not just as a last resort, but as a first response. Pray for wisdom, pray for peace in your home, for protection over your family, for clarity when it comes to purchases, when everything feels loud and confusing and so demanding. Because honestly, there are moments where I don't feel like I have enough answers on my own, and I don't think that we are meant to. There's a verse that comes to mind right now, and it's James 1:5. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously. I love that it doesn't say that God gives reluctantly or with frustration. He gives generously, like he's not tired of being asked. And then there's Philippians 4, where it says not to be anxious, but to bring everything to God in prayer, that his peace will guard your heart and your mind. I love that. It's so comforting. The part that has always felt very real to me in motherhood and homemaking and homesteading and homeschooling, because life doesn't stop being busy or stressful, but it's that there is a kind of peace to be had that can settle over your mind even when things are still unresolved. And usually that starts with having gratitude for what you do have and how far the Lord has brought you. Jesus specifically tells us not to worry about what we're going to eat or wear, because our Father in heaven knows what we need. That is grounding. That is such a grounding thought. Faith, it's not always easy. That's why in the Bible there are so many verses about that and encouraging us to have faith, because it's not easy. It doesn't come naturally. It's not always calm and confident. Sometimes it can be very hard to muster up. But when we look around and are grateful for what we have, and when we remember what the Lord has already done for us, that's where the seed starts and where things can go from there. 1 Peter 5:7, encourage us, cast all our anxieties on him because he cares for us. I truly hope that this video has been encouraging for you today.